Hello, and thanks for joining me for another review. Today we have the AT&T Prepaid ZTE Blade Spark. This phone is currently available at Walmart and Best Buy for $99.99. I personally think this is a very nice phone. I've used it for several days and I've not had any problems out of it. No signs of lag or, you know, unexplained shutdowns or something like that, other than, just loading programs on it and have to be restarted. This phone is currently running Android Nougat 7.1.1. If you purchase it on the box, it says it's running 7.0, but they upgraded it before they packaged it. Also, it has 16 gigabytes of internal storage that can be increased to 128 gigabytes through micro SD card. It has a 720p screen, Gorilla Glass 3. It has a rear camera of 13 megapixels and a front-facing camera of 5 megapixels. And the battery is a 3140 milliamp hour battery. I usually get about a day and a half, almost 2 days out of one charge. This phone has a Snapdragon 425 quad-core CPU. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and I think it's pretty snappy with just 2 gigabytes. I think that's all that the iPhone has, and it runs comparably to that. I did a few benchmarks, and a single core, I got a 672 benchmarks score, and for the multi-core, I got a 1794. It did stutter several times in some of the 3D effects, but more or less you won't even notice that when you're playing games that are provided to you through the App Store. It does have a fingerprint sensor on the back, and it's very responsive, and you can add up to 5 fingerprints. And I just did both of my index because it's the closest to the button and it's the easiest when you pick the phone up. When you first turn the phone on, you have to use either the code or a whatever you use to secure your phone with. It doesn't work with the fingerprint when you first turn it on, just like the iPhone does. But once you have that, all you got to do is put your finger over the fingerprint scanner and the phone comes right on. I tried to fool it several times, wasn't able to, and it worked every single time that I used the right finger, but I was very happy with that. With a few tweaks, this phone can be a very nice phone. Very, very nice. To start out with, the camera is horrendous. You don't even want to use the camera. Don't even bother using it. As soon as you purchase this phone, disable the camera by dragging it to the top of the disabled, and go on the App Store and download a program called Open Camera. This is a very nice, full-featured camera app that you'll be happy with, taking pictures and also video. The other camera app, the video is horrendous. It's around 20 frames a second. It glitches, hangs up. It's just awful. Like I said, you do have a choice, and I would choose to go with Open Camera. If you do, go into the settings of video and set the video to 60 frames per second and the bit rate to 3 megabytes. It uses the full potential of that camera. Also, Messenger is a basic messages texting. I did away with that one, went with a Google one. And also the contacts, I went with Google Contacts, and it works just fine. You'll notice everything is really responsive, very fast. I've tweaked it a little bit, and it zooms around like any very expensive phone. It's in a class of the most expensive phones that I've purchased before. The fingerprint really gives it that feeling of, a really nice made phone. It's very sturdy. The back doesn't come off. It kind of reminds me of the Motorola G, but it's a lot more snappy. But if you go into the programs, it's very, very responsive, very fast. It's not glitchy at all. I think if you wanted to purchase this phone as your daily carry, then you're going to be really happy with it, because it's, you know, I don't understand how they're able to give you this much for $99, and that's not a sale price. So in the future, it can only come down. And if you already have a phone, I would suggest you pick this one up just as a backup. They use USB-C for the charging, and I've noticed that the charging on this, you can get in 15 minutes, you can get around 25 to 30% battery life in just 15 to 20 minutes. Let's pop out the SIM card on this, and I'll show you how that works. So you pop that out, and you have a place for your SIM card and your micro SD card that you can add. This is a 32 gigabyte. That's all I had laying around, because I really don't use these cards much, but and it works just fine. And I haven't used all of it, so I don't see the point in buying something like 128 unless you're going to use this as your, you know, main computer, tablet slash, you know, internet device. But as far as this phone goes, like I said, it's with a few tweaks, you're going to really be impressed with this phone. Let's see. Let's go in and you can look at the settings on here. You can do if you scroll all the way to the bottom, they do have the AT&T software update. I've clicked on that several times, so it should be up to date. But I think currently Nougat is 7.1.2. But currently that's all that's on this one. And since it's a Go phone or a prepaid phone, I don't foresee it being updated anymore, except for maybe security patches and stuff like that. See, you got Android 7.1.1, security patch level of March 1st, 2017. I think this phone came out about a year ago, probably in July of last year, but it takes a while for them to get around to some of the Walmarts and Best Buys in this area. But it's a very nice phone. It does have a flash on the back, and I did say that this is a 13 megapixel camera. It's not an iPhone 13 megapixel camera or a Samsung, but it's still comparable once you use the Open Camera app. Let's see here. Let's open a web page. See, it's very, very responsive. I'm very happy with this phone. This will stay on my collection, because if anything happens to my iPhone, I would definitely think twice about, you know, going out and purchasing a new one right off the bat, you know, especially if it's close to the next iPhone release. You know, if you're ready to get a new phone, if you're an Android user, you're ready to get a brand new phone, and you don't want to go out and spend the $1,000 that the new Samsung phones cost, is, you know, totally ridiculous. Then try this first. You know, you're not even out $100. Try it for a week. If you don't like it, you got 14 days to take it back. And that's what I would suggest. Anyway, that's my review of the AT&T prepaid ZTE Blade Spark, currently at Walmart and Best Buy for $99.99. If you like this review, please subscribe and thumbs up, and I'll be back soon with another one. Thank you.